Well, that weather's turned around once again. It's been such an unpredictable year this year regarding weather. We've just had some really low temperatures, even as low as -6. And when it's accompanied by winds as well, it makes it feel even colder. But this week, we're in the mid to high 40s. So, all the plants in greenhouse at the moment are looking really well. But we've just got a day of steady rain. And to save me a bit of time through the day, what I'm going to do is move these plants outside while it's raining. And they can get a nice bit of rainwater for a change. And if we leave them out for a couple of hours while we've got this rain going on, and then bring them back in, we won't have to water them for at least 2 weeks. And I've got a table outside so everything can still be raised off the ground as well. So that's what I'm going to do right now, and then I'm going to have a look at these microgreens and other plants that we've got growing in house. And we did a little experiment with some pak choi. If you saw a video previously, we did mention that you can actually chop the tops off these pak choi when you harvest rather than pulling the old plant up, and it will try and grow those leaves back. So we did a cooking video quite recently where we made a pak choi stir fry, and if you haven't seen my cooking channel, I'll leave a link in the description, because there might be things on there that you're interested in, because we do lots of videos making food out of the things that we grow all season, including soups, sauces and curries. And these are the pak chois that we've been growing. And we've got some nice looking healthy plants there. And if you look at the bottom, that's where we just chopped across, and we cut it about 1 inch above soil level. So basically just grasping the whole thing and chopping across. So we just remove the leaves that we want, and then we can wash them a lot easier at the same time. And once we've got these outside, that little bit of watering, we'll pop in and I'll show you what's happening with those plants. But just before we move them outside, I'll let you have a little look at what's happening in containers at the moment. We don't want to be doing it out there while it's raining. So again, that salad container that we did. The beetroot is starting to bulk out a little bit with leaves. Obviously things are going to be really slow still at this time of year. We've got some spring onions on go, but there is a couple that don't look quite so happy. So we might have to take some of these out. But we have got plenty of spring onions, so that's not a problem. And a spinach, again, is looking nice and healthy. And those carrots are on the way again. So we're definitely getting something from that container. The spring onions, again, are looking alright, but we're getting a few that are just dying back. I'm not sure why that is. But what we'll do is we'll just go through them and we'll just pull away any that don't look very clever. And then we're still left with some nice green onion tops. But we don't want any that's past the best to start causing problems for the plants that are alright. And we've got a cauliflower in this container, and that's growing away quite happily, regardless of what weather we've had. This carrot container's really come on as well. Looking really good. And I think I mentioned before that we're going to have to start and think about thinning these out so we can get some nice little good sized carrots, or lots of little baby ones. Will not be long before it's time to do that. We've got another cauliflower in this container, and it's actually quite a small container, but as you can see, it's still putting on plenty of growth. We just have to keep his eye on the roots. We don't want to get him root bound, and I can see that there is a couple trying to come through. So we might move that on in New Year to something a bit bigger, like the container that this red cabbage is in, which again is looking really healthy. And we've got another container of spring onions, and we'll go through these at some point today as well, just to make sure everything's alright. But these look better than the other container, so don't think there's going to be a problem there. We've got that container full of garlic still. And there's parsnips. And these seem to be growing really well now, considering they're just in a 10-litre pot. And yet another cauliflower in a slightly bigger container. And the idea with this one is that it's staying in this container until hopefully we can take an harvest. And we've got some broccoli plants there, which we're trying to bring on. And hopefully these are going to be ready for moving on in early spring. And we've already seen the pak choi. So we'll pop some of these plants outside on that table and give them a bit of water, and then we can pop back in. I think for now that'll do. We've got quite a few plants out, and like I say, we'll give them a couple of hours and then we'll move them back indoors for tonight. Now, since it is throwing it down, I'm going to head back inside and take a look at this indoor garden. Just before I go back in, we'll have a quick look at these Chinese cabbages that we've got growing. Wongbok, they're called, these ones. We had a right problem with slugs, as you can see, over Christmas. It's just got worse. The plants are still trying to regrow in centre, but they're getting devastated on a daily basis now. And I think it's just a case of just leave these as they are. There's nothing we can do. And if they get to that state, I think we'll just call it a day, pull them all out and get greenhouse ready for new season. The red cabbage is still looking alright in this greenhouse. And we haven't watered these for quite a while. Bit of munching going off there. But I said we'd leave them. We don't want them sat in wet soil constantly. Then just before we head back indoors, this greenhouse with cauliflowers, they're looking alright. They got really knocked back with that frost earlier, but they have picked back up, so that's good. Still got a bit of a problem, as always, with bugs. But they're still getting a decent bit of size in them regardless. And a Savoy and red cabbage in here, they're looking alright too. So, considering the weather we've been having, all's good out here. Back indoors after that rain, and we're just having a quick look at what we've got growing indoors as well. And a lot of things seem to be doing alright. And that is a tub of lettuce, which now we need to start taking out in little bunches and potting on into packs like those, which at the moment have got Savoy cabbage in. And we've got some pea shoots there. We've grown them just on a piece of paper towel, and you can see all roots at the bottom. And considering there's no compost, they've grown really well. And they're basically ready for harvest now. So I'll be cutting those off and putting them in a bag and popping them in the fridge. And then we've got another tub at the same. And again, loads of roots. Really nice, healthy looking pea shoots there. And if you've not tried microgreens before and you want to do a bit of something while weather's not quite good enough for outside, try a few of these. You don't even need compost. Just pop your peas on some wet paper towel and watch them grow. And again, they're ready for harvest. The spinach and all is looking really well. And we're going to move that on into individual pots at some point in week 2. I have got a few more microgreens as well in this container. And again, you can see just a paper towel at the bottom. And they're beetroot. And we're growing those just to harvest some little leaves. That's another bit of mixed salad. and this one, which has done really well. And again, looks like it's ready for harvest. I believe that that is radish French breakfast. Couple more pak choy at the back. They took a little bit of damage while they were outside in greenhouse, but obviously since we brought them in, they're doing really well. And we've got another pak choy there. That's got to a nice good size now, so probably going to be harvesting this from this container quite soon. Bit more spinach in that container, and then behind it we've got a nice pot of carrots that got hit by a frost when it dropped really bad, but since we brought them in, they've right picked up, so that's really good. We've got a couple of overwintering peppers behind there as well. I've also got a broad bean plant, and we've got it growing in this 2 litre pot, and you can see it's come on right well. And this is one of those dwarf varieties, so no taller than 16 inches, and it's got a good bit of height on it at the moment, and you can see it's starting to bud at the top. We've also got a nice looking Savoy cabbage in a really small container as well, and it's doing really well. Obviously because it's indoors, it's getting a little bit more warmth. You can maintain the watering a lot better, and it's away from pests which tend to destroy leaves, as you've seen in greenhouse before we came back indoors. So this one's looking really well, and we've got a couple of those on though. And we've also got these. They're peppers, and we germinated a few early to get them started ready for New Year, and you can see where we've put a couple in each cell just in case one didn't germinate, and we've actually got a couple in most of the cells, so if we want to we can carefully separate those and get more peppers, but it's a bit early to be moving these on. They're a little too small at the moment. And the taller ones at the back, they're dwarf tomato plants, and we said we'd pop a couple in containers and try and get an early start on those, but because we've put a couple in each, we don't want those, so I'm just pinching off one of them, the weaker one, like that. We'll take that one away, and then we'll leave those two to grow on. And this one's a little bit taller than I'd like, but if you watched this channel early in season, you know that you can bury tomato plants right down to there if you wanted to, because all those little hairs on this stem will grow out into roots, so you'll still end up with a good plant. So they're doing well. This is what I wanted to show you. That pak choy, we harvested it quite recently, and we just cut the plant, took away the leaves to leave it to grow on, and it is trying to regrow, both of them. That's really good. You harvest that plant, and as long as you don't tear the roots out, you just take away the tops. They try and grow you fresh leaves all over again. So we're going to leave that going and see how big this plant gets to again. And if this works, then maybe we can harvest those leaves and do it all over again. Anyway, thank you for watching the video. Always appreciate it. If you're not already subscribed to this channel, then please hit that subscribe button and press that notifications bell, because we've still got quite a few things to do before spring. But this video is probably going to be the last one of this year. So between now and 2023, I hope you've had a really good Christmas, and I hope you have an extra special New Year. Take care.